Hey, what's up guys, Box here and welcome to a brand new video. This time I'm going to be talking about the MotoGP 2018 game, or MotoGP 18 game, which will be coming out by probably about June time from Milestone once again. And there's been no announcements, no trailers, no nothing yet, but I just wanted to take this opportunity to sort of like discuss a bit of a wish list, which I'd like to see implemented into the next installment of the MotoGP games. So be sure to leave your thoughts and what you'd like to be implemented into the game down in the comments below. So if you're looking forward to this video, remember to smash the like button, follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter, and let me know your thoughts on Twitter as well. Tweet me with some different ideas, and I'll take a look at them. So let's get into this with the first thing I want to talk about being career mode. Now, career mode is sort of a big aspect to this game. It's sort of one of the key things which people will play the game for. So there's either career mode or online. I think that's what people mostly play it for, although I'd never really play online. I know lots of people do, but I never got into the online. But I'm going to talk about career mode to start this video off. There's a few things which might be quite unrealistic and a few which might be achievable. But first of all, I want to talk about AI changing teams. So something which could be interesting to see the AI riders switching around the teams a bit. I'm not sure if they're able to do it with licenses issues and stuff like that. I know in the F1 games they can't because the licensing, or they never used to be. But as the season go on, it might be interesting to see riders change teams, so they could program in a set of teams which a rider might go to, or a progression route that they could follow. And same Moto2 riders come up to MotoGP, Moto3 riders come up to MotoGP, all that sort of stuff. It could be interesting. And then a bit like in FIFA, make regen riders. It might be a bit unrealistic, but it could be something which could be implemented into the franchise at a later date, because that's the sort of thing which you're going to need to keep career mode interesting, and everyone's career will then be different, so it could make it more interesting. Also, I want to say about career mode historic events. So in F1 2017 there's the historic and classic car events that you can take part in through the season, so it'd be nice to see if they could do that with the the historic bikes which they have already got in MotoGP, but just putting them at a race and different points for the season might make it interesting. They could sort of implement it as like a PR event into your career. Bike livery changes, so maybe they could program in so that the bike livery slightly changes for the different teams. That's something which I thought was really unrealistic, but it might be cool. Like I say again, keeping it interesting, because I did 5 seasons of career mode, and obviously all the riders are the same. The only thing is you change bikes. Yeah, complete testing events, which sort of links to the historic events. So they do a testing like the Thai testing's on at the minute, or when I'm recording this video at the weekend. So to be able to compete in the testing events in the pre-season. Rider injuries is another thing. Like if you come off your bike, you could be injured and you have to miss out on a couple of rounds. Like when Rossi fell off and he injured his ankle. He had to miss races recently. So just like that, if you're injured, you've got to miss a few races. And that sort of spice up the season, because it could throw in an injury right at the last minute, and you could be on course for the championship, and then it throws you right in the mix. So also the AI, obviously rider injuries as well. An R&D system like in F1 2017. So this, I thought, you get a manager mode. I thought about this and I thought, manager mode and rider career, why are they separate? Because I know there's a whole thing about managing the bike and all that sort of stuff, but once I'd started my rider career mode, I couldn't be asked to go back and do the manager career mode. I don't know, I just thought maybe why can't they implement it together like in F1, where you your own rider, but you're like the #1 rider in the team, so you can determine the like the R&D route of the bike and different parts that can be put on, so you have that say. So almost implementing manager mode into rider career mode, because I can't see the point in having two, because they're very similar. At the end of the day, you do ride the bike for the championship, and the only difference is the team controls the bike and you can't upgrade the bikes, but that makes career mode a bit bland if you can't upgrade the bikes and the bike performance changes. So it's season after season it's the same, which is what I found in MotoGP. So I think merging manager mode with rider career mode would be the best option. So at one point you could take the KTM bike KTM Red Bull bike and make it the best bike on the grid, and 1 year Honda could flop, 1 year Yamaha could flop. So I think that's probably one of the best ways to do it, in my opinion. So that's career mode talked about. I realised we're already like 5 minutes in and I've only talked about career mode. So let me know what you think about career mode down in the comments. So other thing we want to get onto is riding style. Like, they give you set riding styles. I think it'd be interesting if you customise those. So like on Ride 2 you have the different sliders where you can change like your lean angle, all this sort of stuff. You could customise that because just make it a bit more unique, you know what I mean, like on Ride 2. Physics, they're always continuing to try and improve the physics, so I think just continue improving the physics, making them more realistic. I mean, the physics are good, but obviously you want to constantly improve. That's what they did in the F1 games, where they took F1 2016-17 where they completely redeveloped the handling system, and it's so good now compared to like F1 2014. So obviously they've been continuing to improve that, but so just keep on improving that. Now the AI is something I want to talk about as well. Add in another setting for tougher AI, because I can beat all the AI. So not easily on the hardest setting because I'm not that good, but I know there's riders out there that are like incredibly fast, so they'll be probably frustrated that in like career mode and stuff, they're just beating the AI nice and easily. Also, another thing I want to talk about is in terms of the AIs, making them more adaptable. They seem to just follow a line, so maybe if they could, you know, go for different moves and make them a bit more intelligent, so not just following the same line, and also falling off more, crashing. Again, with the rider injuries, that could be an interesting one. Like, you could have a championship rival chasing and then suddenly falls off, so it makes it nice and easy. Maybe also a track editor. I'm not sure if this would be possible, but so you can make your own MotoGP tracks. Maybe you could sort of make a track and make your own test track. So like Rossi has his ranch, maybe you could have like a track editor where let you make your own track so you can test out different types of turns on your bike, and maybe make it an off-road track as well, like for practicing and pre-season. So I think more around pre-season and testing and that sort of stuff. But a track editor might be really cool, and maybe you could share them around on like PlayStation Network or Xbox Live or Steam Workshop, and then you just download them and try them, and that could be a cool thing. What else? Oh, in terms of, again, it sort of links to career mode, but any races, being able to do outlaps on your bike. So I was really surprised that this hasn't been implemented yet into the game, because like on F1 games you do see the car go out in the pit, you do your outlap, you get the tyres ready for your quit lap in qualifying. So I was really surprised that this wasn't already being implemented into MotoGP. So I think being able to do your outlaps and then also controlling your bike in the pits, having to put the pit limiter on, it just makes it a bit more interesting, and like you're in control a bit more. So rather than just like going into the pits and like coming out of the pits and it just goes to a menu, a loading screen, and then you go on a flying lap. So again, sort of linking to career mode again, rider customization. So more helmets, so more designs, but also more manufacturers of helmets, and maybe you could pick, yeah, more manufacturer gloves and boots as well. Just all different bikes. There's not many in there, and to be honest, they're not that good. I really don't like them, but if they could add more manufacturers, that would be pretty cool, like they're doing Ride 2. So why can't they do that with this? It could be licensing, I'm not sure, but if they could do that, that would be really cool. Again, it's just adding more of your own personal touch onto it. Also, maybe in terms of rider customization as well, being able to make your own rider logo. Like Ian only has that like circle radar thing. Maybe able to make that. Might be pretty cool. Also the rider numbers, I think we need new rider number stars, because when you look at them, they're all pretty basic. So I think there's only one which was pretty good, but then the rider numbers always look really small on the bike, so maybe make them a bit bigger as well. Like you see the 46 on the Yamaha, that is massive on the front of it, but then you're his teammate and then you have number, what, I don't know, number 90 90 or something like that, and it's a tiny little Times New Roman script. It just looks a bit silly, so maybe they could have more custom fonts in there. I think that'd be pretty cool. Again, sort of links to career mode again, but any sort of races on there is the weather system. The weather system at the minute is pretty boring, because it's just whatever the weather is. So add in dynamic weather, so you can have flag to flag races as well. So you could start a race dry, after so many laps it goes to like wet conditions. You have to come in the pits, put on your wet tyres, stay out on your wet tyres, and maybe it starts to dry up and then you have to go back in the pits again. But that might be pretty cool, but that would only work with being able to ride in the pit lane, so I think that would have to be implemented alongside it. But it will definitely make riding more interesting, because at the end of the day, MotoGP is such a good sport and the game is so fun, but the game is so simple as well. Not simple, that's wrong, but like in terms of riding, the physics, it's the same all the time. They need to mix it up a bit, if you know what I mean. So also it sort of links to that as well, more realistic graphics. They sort of seem a bit cartoony at the minute, and I think they should be more photorealistic, especially now with the brand new consoles, the Xbox One X and the Xbox Pro, the PS4 Pro, especially with the 4K consoles. I think they should try to make it more photorealistic, 'cause it's not cartoony, but you can definitely tell it's a game, whereas there's like games like Project Cars 2, which are like photorealistic. So if they could do that, that'd be great, but they might be limited by the game engine, so I'm not too sure whether that would be something that could be realistically improved. But the better the graphics, the more into it you seem to get, I think, if that makes any sense. Finally, it sort of links back to career mode. We've talked about rider customization, so bike customization. Obviously you can get all the different parts, like in manager mode you can change the engine and the chassis and all that sort of stuff, the suspension, improve the brakes. But another thing they should add now is the aero fairings, I think, because that's a big thing now. Obviously they got rid of the winglets and they've developed aero fairings. Whether they'll stay in the sport, because again it's like the winglets, they didn't like them, so they got rid of them. But being able to have the option to have them on and changing the design of them, they could have pre-selected designs of aero fairings you could put on your bike and change that through the season with the R&D system. I think that'd be pretty cool. So bike customization, again, like I said, but it's sort of with the rider customization, the numbers. But keep the livery editor in there, but add more templates, more sponsors, all that sort of stuff. And I definitely think merge rider and manager career mode together. It might be too late for it to be added this game, but in the future I think that's definitely a way to go. One career mode where you're a rider, and when you reach #1 rider for the team, you can control the development. So you're starting at the bottom. If you want to go into MotoGP, you can either like stay at one team, try and get to #1 rider spot, and then be able to control the R&D of the bike and try and take it from a bottom team to a top team, or you can just stay at #2 rider, do pretty good, get promoted to the next team, and then get to the top team, and then try and get to #1 rider and customize it. I think that might be a good way of doing it, but let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. That's one thing I really want feedback on. What do you think about merging rider and manager career mode into one? Because I don't see the point in having two career modes, because they're not that different at the end of the day. The only difference is in one you can edit the look of the bike and edit the performance of the bike, whereas in the other you're just stuck with the factory bikes. But it definitely might be interesting. So you could do your career mode, you're just a rider, say you become like 5 times world champion, you want to launch your own team, you could add that in. And again, it's just like being the #1 rider aspect to it, but it's just something to start the ball rolling with, an idea of that for a future MotoGP game. But that's going to do it for my wish list, and it's been about 15 minutes almost now, so that's a really long time of just talking. It didn't feel like 15 minutes, I feel like I've just blurted a load of stuff out, but I hope you have enjoyed this video. I wasn't planning on it being this long, but definitely let me know about that merging rider and manager career mode in the comments, and let me know what you think as well should be implemented into the new game. But that's been about it. I hope you're enjoying the MotoGP 2018 mod content that I'm doing. I'm going to be launching the career mode very soon. I'm just trying to work on it at the minute. Also, I hope you're enjoying the F1 content, the F1 career mode, which is coming to an end now. I might do a second season of that. And let me know what you think of doing F1 and MotoGP on the channel. And I've got another 2 series idea which relate to just racing games in general. I mean, I'm kind of struggling with what to do with my channel at the minute, because I like so many things, and it's like I did loads of Need for Speed, then I did loads of F1, loads of MotoGP, so I'm just sort of struggling for what I want to do. But MotoGP and F1 focus at the minute, because the new 2 seasons are starting soon, and then obviously the games come out in the spring, summertime. So anyway, that's enough waffling on. I hope you did enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments, what you think should be added, and I guess we will see you in the next video.